You know what is crazy? You probably know more English than you think, I mean it. You have watched videos, read books, studied phrases, maybe even passed a few exams. But let me ask you something real. How many of those phrases do you actually use? Seriously. Think about it. You probably know what nice to meet you means. You have seen "How was your day" in a textbook. You might have even practiced "Can I help you" in a class, but when the moment comes, when someone really looks at you and says, "Hey, how's it going?" you freeze. You smile, maybe nod, but your brain, blank, empty, like the words were never there. So let us talk about this. Why does that happen? Why can you understand so much English but still not say it when you need it most? Well, I will tell you why. Because you are not learning phrases, you are collecting them. And there is a big difference. See, collecting is easy. You watch a video. You write something down. You say, "Oh, cool, that's a nice phrase." Then what? You move on. You do not feel it. You do not speak it. You do not live it. It is like buying a cookbook and never cooking. Looks nice. But you are still hungry. And English? It is a language, not a museum. It is not about how many phrases you remember. It is about which ones you use without thinking. And to get there, you need context. You need feeling. You need moments that make the words stick. Let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I met a guy in Thailand. His name was Min. He had been learning English for 6 years. Books, grammar, flashcards. He knew it all. But when we sat down at a cafe and I said, "Hey Min, what would you like to drink?" he panicked. He looked down, scratched his head, and said, "Maybe water." "Yes." Later he told me something I will never forget. He said, "Jackson, I know so many words, but when I talk to a real person, I feel like I know nothing." That hit me, and I told him what I will tell you now. English is not something you pass. It is something you practice. You can learn the phrase, "What's up?" but until you say it to someone, at the right time, with the right tone, and get a real reaction, you will never own it. It will just sit there. In your head. Useless. So here is what we are going to do in this video. We are going to take 50 of the most common English phrases and bring them to life. No boring lists, no flashcards. No repeat after me nonsense, just real moments, real feelings. Real talk. You will hear them in context, feel them in your body. Say them out loud, not because I told you to, but because you want to. Because you see yourself in the story. Now, before we start, let me ask you something. Which English phrase have you always known, but never used out loud? Go ahead. Think about it. Type it in the comments if you want. Make it real. Because once you say it out loud, even once, it starts to become yours. And here is the best part. By the end of this video, you are going to say a lot of them. Not just with your mouth, but with your whole self. And one day, maybe tomorrow, maybe next year, you are going to be in a moment. Someone will say, "Hey, long time no see." And you will smile and say it back like it was always there. Because now, it is. So, are you ready? Good. Then let's begin with the first phrase, and it is one that gets used every single day. But most people get it totally wrong. So there you are. You finally meet someone who speaks English. You smile. You take a deep breath, and you say, "Hello, teacher. How are you today?" Then, silence. They smile. But not the warm kind, more like the awkward kind, like they do not know what to do with what you just said. And you stand there thinking, "Wait, was that wrong? That was polite, right?" Yeah, it was polite. But it was also weird, not because your English is bad, but because your context was off. Let me explain. See, in textbooks, we learn greetings like, "Hello? How are you?" "Good morning, teacher." "I am fine, thank you." "And you?" But out there, in real coffee shops, in offices, on the street. People do not speak like that. Well, maybe your grandmother does. See. But most people, they say, "Hey, what's up? How's it going? Yo, long time no see." And you learn what's up in class. You hear it in movies, so you think, great, I will use that. Then you go to work. Your boss walks in, and you go, "Hey, what's up?" And boom! Weird look, why? Because what's up is casual. Very casual. You say it to friends, not to your manager. That is the part most learners miss. It is not just what you say, it is who you say it to. Let me give you a rule. A simple one. The more formal the situation, the more neutral your greeting. So if you are meeting a professor, a boss, someone older, stick with, "Good morning." "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you." If it is a friend, a colleague, someone your age, you can go with, "Hey, what's up?" "Yo, how's it going?" "Hey." Been a while, huh? Now let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I met a student from Brazil. Super smart guy. First time he met me, he shook my hand and said, "Good evening, Mr. Jackson. I am pleased to make your acquaintance." And I just stood there like, whoa, am I being knighted? It was cute, but also completely out of place. We were just grabbing coffee. Later, he laughed about it too. And from that day on, every time he saw me, he said, "Sup, bro?" Total transformation. Now here is the fun part. These greetings, they are not really questions. "What's up?" does not mean "tell me your life story." It just means, "Hey." So what do you say back? Easy. You can say, "Hey, not much. All good, you?" Or just smile and nod. That is how natural conversation flows. Fast, casual, light. But you only learn this by watching, listening, living it. So here is what I want you to do. Picture someone you would never say "what's up" to. Maybe your boss, a stranger, a customer. Now picture someone you would, your best friend, your younger cousin, your gym buddy. Feel the difference? That is called social awareness, and it is just as important as grammar. Because a phrase without the right vibe is just noise. Now, one last thing before we move on. Do you remember the first time someone said, "What's up?" to you in real life? What did you say back? Did you panic? Did you go up, the sky? Or maybe you smiled and froze? Whatever it was, own it, because now, next time, you will be ready. In fact, let us do it together. Say it out loud. "Hey, what's up?" "Not much, you?" "All good." That is it. That little moment. That is how fluency begins, not with perfect grammar, but with knowing what fits. Now let us take it one step deeper, because the next phrase, it sounds like English, but it is not. In fact, it might come from Chinese. And it is one of the strangest, most fun ways to sound fluent, without sounding formal. Let me ask you something. Have you ever said a phrase in English that felt kinda wrong? But people smiled like it was totally normal? Like, "Long time no see." You know that one, right? It sounds broken. No grammar, no proper sentence structure. But here is the twist. Native speakers love it. They say it all the time, and when you say it, they smile. Because you sound real, not textbook real, but street real. Let me tell you how I found that out. I was in a bookstore once. Tiny place, second floor, dust everywhere. I walked in and saw an old friend I had not seen in 5 years. And before I could think, the words just came out. "Long time no see, man." He laughed, said the same thing back. And just like that, we were back in sync. No awkwardness, no ice to break, because that one weird little phrase, it carried history, emotion, familiarity. That is the magic of certain English expressions. Even if the grammar looks wrong, the feeling is right. And when you are learning English, those are the ones that connect you to people. Now here is the fun fact. Long time no see might actually come from Chinese. Yeah. Back in the 1800s, some Chinese speakers in the US said something like Hao Jiu Bu Jian, which means literally, long time no see. Americans heard it, thought it was funny, started repeating it, and somehow it stuck. Today, it is not bad grammar. It is just English. Weird, right? But that is how language works. It grows from people, not rules. And the more you use phrases like this, the more fluent you sound, because you are speaking like life, not like a lesson. So let us bring this into your life. I want you to think of someone you have not spoken to in a long time. Could be a friend, a cousin, an old teacher, someone you miss. Now imagine sending them a message. Not something formal, not, "Dear sir, I hope you are doing well." No, just this, "Hey, long time no see. How have you been?" Simple, friendly, natural. It feels like something a native speaker would say, right? Because it is. And here is the cool part. Even if the rest of your English is basic, when you drop a line like "long time no see," people notice. They think, "Oh wow, this person gets it." It is like a secret handshake, a signal that you are not just learning English, you are living it. Now, quick tip. Only use "long time no see" when you really have not seen the person in a while. If it has only been 2 days, do not say it. You will sound sarcastic. But if it has been weeks, months, years, perfect. And do not forget to add warmth. Smile. Use your voice. Mean it. Long time no see. Let the emotion carry the phrase. Because the grammar does not matter. The feeling does. All right, time for a little challenge. Are you ready? Here it is. Pick one person you have not talked to in a while. Write a short message in English. Start it with "long time no see." Send it right now. Pause this video if you want. Do it. That one little action, that is where fluency begins. Not by memorizing, but by connecting. And when they reply, boom, you just started a real English conversation. Now, we have greeted someone. We have reconnected with someone. But what about checking in? Not just hi, but really asking how things are going, with heart. Because the next mistake most learners make, they keep saying, "How are you?" without ever sounding like they mean it. Let me ask you this. When someone says, "How are you?" what do you usually say? Fine. Good. Not bad. That is it, right? 3 words. 0 feeling. Now let me flip the question. When you say, "How are you?" do you really mean it? Or are you just filling space? Here is the truth. Most people ask, "How are you?" because they do not know what else to say. It is a habit, like saying "bless you" after a sneeze. You do it, but you do not think about it. And the result? Flat conversations, polite but empty. So let us fix that. Let us turn this basic question kit into something real. First, here is the problem. "How are you?" is too big. It is like asking, "How is your entire life today?" People do not know how to answer that. So they shut down. They go, "Good," and move on. But if you change the question just a little bit, you unlock the door. Try this. How's your week been so far? How are things going with the new job? Still going to the gym these days? See the difference? You are not asking, "How are you?" You are asking about something specific. That makes it easier to answer, more natural, more human. Let me tell you a story. I used to have a student named Alina from Poland. Brilliant woman. Big heart, but shy in English. One day she told me, "Jackson, I do not like small talk. It feels fake." And I told her, "Then stop making it fake." She looked confused, so I showed her. Next time we met, I said, "How's your energy this week?" She paused, then smiled, and said, "You know what? I am tired, but kind of proud." I finished something difficult. And just like that, real connection. Because I asked something small but meaningful. Not "How are you?" but "How's your energy?" That is the art of conversation. Not big words, not perfect grammar, just asking better questions. Now, let us make this practical. Here are 3 ways to make your "how are you" sound more real. 1. Add a time frame. How has your day been? How was your weekend? 2. Add a topic. How is your English practice going? Still working on that big project? 3. Add a feeling. You look focused. Good day? Busy morning, huh? You do not need all 3, just one twist. One small change makes the whole question feel alive. Now, do this with me. Pick a friend in your mind. Someone you talk to often. Think of something you know about their life. Now say this out loud. Hey, how's that thing going? It could be, how's your painting coming along? Still going to yoga? How was that interview? Practice that line. Say it again, because the more specific you are, the more connection you create. And that is what English is really for. Not just understanding, but making people feel seen. So, next time you're about to say, "How are you?" Pause. Think, and ask something real, because the right question can open the best conversations. Now, let us keep going. You have said hi. You have asked how someone is doing. Now what? How do you go from small talk to something real without sounding awkward? Let me tell you something honest. Small talk gets a bad reputation. People say it is fake, pointless. Just noise before the real conversation. But here is what I have learned. Small talk is not small. It is how we warm up. It is how we say, "I am here. I see you. I am open." And when done right, it leads to everything deeper. Now, the problem is not small talk. The problem is bad small talk, like, "Nice weather today." "So, how was your weekend?" "Busy, huh?" These are okay. But they often lead nowhere, because they do not carry emotion. They do not invite the other person to actually say something. Let me give you a better way. Instead of making statements, ask open questions. Instead of "hot today," say "hot day," right? I feel like I am melting. Now you have 2 elements. 1. A shared observation, hot day. 2. A personal emotion, I feel like I am melting. That second part, that is what invites a real response, because when you share first, people feel safe to share back. Let me paint a scene for you. You walk into the office. Your coworker is making coffee. You say, "Man, this morning traffic, I thought I would never make it." And suddenly they laugh. They say, "Tell me about it. I saw 3 accidents on the way." Boom! You are talking, real talk, shared pain. Human stuff, no need for big grammar, just show that you are alive inside. Now, here is a little trick I call feel plus fact. Say a fact, then how you feel about it, like, "So many people in the cafe today, I feel like I am in New York. Rain again. I swear my shoes are never dry." See? You are not just observing the world, you are living in it and letting others into that moment. That is how you make English emotional. That is how you make it yours. Now, let me tell you a story. I once had a student named Tariq from Morocco. He was super smart. Knew a lot of English. But every time he talked to coworkers in Canada, he said the same thing. "Hello, how are you?" "Fine, thank you." Then, silence. He told me, "Jackson, I do not know how to go deeper." So I gave him this tip. Start your small talk with a shared truth plus a feeling. The next day he walked into work and said, "Wow, this snow is killing me. I miss the sun already." His coworker looked up, laughed, and said, "Tell me about it." "I am from Miami. I do not even own gloves." And from there, they talked about their hometowns. Their favorite foods, childhood stories. That is the power of real small talk. It does not stay small. It opens hearts. Now, let me give you 3 small talk phrases that work anywhere. 1. Busy morning. 2. You look focused. Big project. 3. Feels like Friday already, huh? Try them. Make them yours. And do not forget to add your emotion, even something as simple as, My brain is still asleep. I need 3 more coffees. Makes you human. Makes you relatable. And that is what fluency really means. Now, before we move on, let me challenge you. Tomorrow, when you see someone, anyone, do not say hi and walk away. Say something real. Say something human. Say something with a little feeling. And watch what happens. Because the right small talk can change the whole energy of your day. Next up, we are diving into 3 little words that Americans use constantly. They are fast, they are flexible, and they might be the reason people keep interrupting you without meaning to. Let me ask you something. Have you ever said something in English, and the other person just nodded and said, "Exactly. Totally. That's so true," and you thought, "Wait, what just happened?" Was that a good thing? Well, yes, it was a great thing. Because when someone says exactly or totally, what they are really saying is, "I feel you." I get it. I agree, with energy. These 3 words, they are like the glue in casual conversation. They keep the rhythm flowing. They make you sound alive, not just smart, but connected. But here is where things get messy. Most learners do not know the difference between them. They treat them like robots. Agree, say yes. But that is not how native speakers use language. We use tone, emotion, timing. So let us break it down. 1. Exactly. This one is sharp, precise. You use it when someone says something true and clear, and you totally agree. Example, A. So, basically, if I do not drink coffee, I cannot function. B. Exactly. Boom. Fast. Supportive, confident, feels like a mic drop. It is not emotional. It is more logical, almost like, that is correct. You said it perfectly. Now say it with me. Exactly. Say it with that little head nod, that energy that says, finally, someone understands me. 2. Totally. This one is warmer. More playful. You use it when you want to agree, but with a feeling, not just logic. Example. A. I hate Mondays. B. Totally. Or A. I could eat pizza every day. B. Totally. See the vibe? It is casual, emotional. You are not just agreeing, you are joining in. Try it now. Totally. Say it with a smile. Maybe even a little eye roll. You are not just saying yes, you are saying, me too, my friend, me too. 3. That's so true. This one is a mix. You use it when someone says something deeper, something real. Example. A. Sometimes you need to lose yourself to find what matters. B. That's so true. It feels more reflective, more heartfelt. It says, you are right, and I have felt that too. Say it slowly. That's so true. This one is not for jokes. It is for moments that mean something. Now, let me tell you a quick story. I was once in a group conversation with 4 native speakers and 1 English learner named Anna. She was nervous. Quiet, just listening. Then someone joked, if coffee disappears from the world, I am not responsible for my actions. Everyone laughed. And out of nowhere, Anna said, totally. The timing, the smile, the tone. Perfect. And everyone turned to her and said, right? She was in. Not because of grammar, but because of rhythm. That one word made her part of the flow. That is the power of one-word reactions. You do not need a full sentence, just the right word, at the right moment. So now, let us practice. You will hear 3 short sentences. I will pause, and you choose exactly, totally, or that's so true. Ready? 1. It is not the job that makes you tired. It is the people. What do you say? That's so true. 2. I mean, it is basic math. You spend more than you earn, you go broke. Exactly. 3. I could nap right now and sleep for 10 hours. Totally. Nice. Now one more thing. Try combining them with your own voice. Like, exactly, I was just thinking that. Totally, same here. That's so true. It hit me last week. These tiny phrases, they are your way into rhythm, into real conversation, into connection. Because agreeing is not about being polite, it is about being present. And next, we are going to flip that energy. Because what happens when you are surprised? Not just agreeing, but reacting. And if you do not do it right, you might sound like you are not even paying attention. All right, picture this. You are talking to someone in English, and they tell you something crazy. Maybe they say, I just got fired this morning, or I met Taylor Swift once at the airport. Now stop. How do you respond? What comes out of your mouth? Do you freeze? Do you go, oh, okay? Or do you just nod and smile like nothing happened? Because here is the thing. If your reaction does not match their story, the moment dies. And in English, reacting right is everything. Because emotion carries the conversation, and surprise is gold. It shows that you are listening, that you care, that you are human. But here is the mistake most learners make. They respond with words, but not feeling. They say, really? Wow. But it sounds like they are reading a grocery list. Flat. Cold, no spark, so let us fix that. Let me give you 3 go-to phrases that native speakers use all the time to show surprise. 1. No way. Short, strong, pure energy. You use this when something feels unbelievable, funny, shocking, or just plain wild. Example: A. I used to live in a castle. B. No way. It is like saying, you are kidding, right? That is insane. Say it out loud. Now with a little more feeling. No way. Make your face match the words, eyes wide. Eyebrows up, mouth open, because in English your face is part of the sentence. 2. You are kidding. This one is great for surprise and disbelief. Example: A. I failed my driving test 3 times. B. You are kidding. You are not accusing them of lying. You are just shocked it is true. Tone matters here. Do not say it like a question. Say it like a reaction. You are kidding. 1 beat per word. Let it land. 3. Seriously? This one is flexible. You can use it for surprise, frustration, even humor. Example: A. They canceled the flight again. B. Seriously? Or A. I forgot your birthday. B. Seriously? It can be light or heavy. Depends on your tone. Practice it now. Say, seriously? Once like you are shocked, then again like you are annoyed. Feel the difference. That is the power of tone. Same word, different meaning. Now, quick story. I had a student named Emilio, super sharp guy from Argentina. One day his coworker said, "So, I was robbed yesterday, right outside my apartment." And Emilio just blinked, then said, "Yes, that is not good." The coworker looked confused. Not offended, but clearly felt something was missing. So I coached Emilio. Next time someone said something unexpected, I told him to respond with, "No way," or "Seriously?" A week later, someone said, "I just got engaged," and Emilio nailed it. He went, "No way, that is amazing." He matched the moment. He brought the energy. And you know what? People started talking more with him because he did not just speak English, he felt it. Now, it is your turn. Practice these 3 lines. No way. You are kidding. Seriously? Say them loud. Say them with feeling. Say them like you mean it, because when you react well, you do not just sound fluent, you sound alive. And here is a bonus tip. If you combine your reaction with a question, you double the connection. Like, "No way, what happened next?" "Seriously? Are you okay?" That is how you keep the conversation flowing. Now, let us flip the situation. What if you need something? What if you are the one asking, not for attention, but for help? Well, There is a right way to do it, and if you get it wrong, you might sound rude or too shy to be taken seriously. Let me show you how to ask for help, like a native speaker. Okay, real talk. Have you ever needed something, but you just stood there, frozen, because you did not know how to ask? Maybe you wanted to borrow a pen. Maybe you needed someone to slow down when they spoke. Maybe you were lost and your phone had no signal. And in your head, you were thinking, how do I say this without sounding rude, or too formal, or too weak? Yeah, I have been there too. Even as a native speaker, asking for help can feel awkward. But here is the truth. How you ask matters more than what you ask. And in English, we have this beautiful little trick. It is called softening. It means making a request sound gentle, respectful, natural. Let me show you how it works. 1. Would you mind? This one is polite, soft. Slightly formal, but very natural. Example, would you mind helping me with this form? Would you mind repeating that? Now here is the key. After, would you mind, the verb that follows ends in ing, not, would you mind help me? But, would you mind helping me? It feels thoughtful. Humble, you are not demanding, you are inviting. Try it out loud. Would you mind helping me? Would you mind showing me? Feels nice, right? 2. Could you possibly? This one is a little more polite, a touch more formal, but still natural, especially in emails or with strangers. Example, could you possibly send me that file? Could you possibly explain that again? Why add possibly? Because it creates space. You are saying, if it is not too much trouble, without saying it directly. It sounds warm. Respectful. Now try this one. Could you possibly wait a moment? You hear that tone? It is soft, but clear. You are still asking, still leading. Now, here is the big mistake most learners make. They either go too direct, give me that pen, tell me, or way too polite, like something from a 19th century novel. Excuse me, I humbly request your most generous assistance. Yeah, no, the goal is balance, kind but confident. Let me tell you a quick story. I was at a train station in Seoul, super crowded. I was lost, tired, frustrated. I needed to ask someone where to go, but all I could say was, "Excuse me, help?" The woman looked confused, not because my words were wrong, but because they felt incomplete. Cold, a little abrupt. Now, imagine if I had said, "Excuse me, would you mind pointing me toward exit 4? Boom! Same request, totally different vibe, more human. And that is the goal, every time. So let me give you 3 practice lines you can use today. Would you mind speaking a bit slower? Could you possibly repeat that? Would you mind showing me where this is? Say them with me, out loud, slowly. Feel the rhythm. Feel how they land. This is not about being perfect, it is about being approachable. Because when you ask kindly, people lean in. They listen. They help. Now here is something else to keep in mind. Sometimes, when your English is too polite, it can actually sound distant or even awkward, especially with friends. So what do you do when you want to ask something, but make it sound casual? That is where tone plus body language come in. The words may be the same, but a smile, a relaxed voice, that changes everything. Example, formal. Would you mind helping me carry this box? Casual. Hey, would you mind giving me a hand real quick? Same phrase, different energy. So do not just say the words. Feel them. Let your body join the conversation next time you need something. Breathe, smile, and try, would you mind? Could you possibly? Simple. Gentle, fluent. Now let us flip the perspective. What if you are the one who wants to help? How do native speakers offer help without sounding awkward or overly serious? There is a secret to it, and once you learn it, you will start hearing it everywhere. So, let me flip the script. We have talked about asking for help. But what about offering help? You know, that moment when you see someone struggling. Maybe they are carrying too many bags. Maybe they look confused. Maybe they just need a little support. And you want to help. But you do not want to sound weird, or too formal, or too pushy. So, what do you say? Not, do you require my assistance? Too robotic. Not, let me help you now. Too strong. The truth is, native speakers offer help in a way that feels effortless, friendly, light. Let me give you two phrases that work everywhere. 1. Need a hand? Short, easy. Natural. It means, do you need help? But it sounds casual, like something a friend would say. Example, you see someone trying to open a door while holding coffee. You say, need a hand? They smile. You hold the door. Connection made. It is fast, friendly, and does not make the other person feel weak. Say it out loud. Need a hand? Now try adding tone, light voice, slight smile. Not need a hand? That sounds like a threat. Let your voice do the kindness. 2. Let me know if you need anything. This one is magic. It is not direct. You are not forcing help. You are opening the door and leaving it open. Example. You have a guest staying at your house. You say, hey, make yourself at home. Let me know if you need anything. Or in a work setting, if you run into any problems with the system, just let me know if you need anything. It is soft. Supportive, no pressure. People might not ask right away. But they remember that you offered, and that builds trust. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a birthday party. Lots of people. Music, food, good vibes. But there was this one guy standing by the fridge, holding 3 plates, looking lost. I walked over and said, need a hand? He laughed. Said, yeah, man. I do not even know where the forks are. Boom. I grabbed some for him. We started chatting. Turns out he was new in town. That moment, it was the start of a friendship, all because of 3 words. Need a hand? Now, let us practice this together. Say these out loud. Need a hand with that? Let me know if you need anything. You okay with that, or want a little help? Feel how they roll off your tongue, not stiff. Not formal, just human. Because that is what fluent English sounds like. It is not about impressing people. It is about connecting with people, and the way you offer help. It tells people who you are, without needing a long speech. Now here is one more bonus line. I got you. Yeah, real native stuff. It means, I will take care of it, or I have your back. Example, A, I forgot to bring my notes. B, no worries, I got you. It is friendly, relaxed. Used more with close friends, co-workers, or people your age. Try it. I got you. Boom. You sound like a local already. So, next time you see someone who looks like they could use a little help, do not overthink it. Just say, need a hand? Or, let me know if you need anything. That is it. Because offering help is not about the words, it is about making someone feel less alone. And now that you have helped someone, let me show you the most useful response phrase Americans use when they agree to something. You will hear it everywhere, and once you start using it, people will love talking to you. All right? Let me ask you something. When someone says, let's meet at 6, or I'll send you the file tomorrow, how do you usually respond? Do you say, okay, yes, all right, those are fine? But you know what native speakers say? Sounds good. And it is everywhere, like all the time. Fast, friendly, effortless. You hear it in offices, in text messages, in cafes. On Zoom. It is probably the most common yes in American English. But here is what most learners do not realize. Sounds good is not just about agreement. It is about tone. It is about keeping the vibe smooth. Let me show you how it works. Imagine this. You are texting your friend. You say, "Let's meet at the library at 3. They reply, "Sounds good." How does that feel? Simple. Warm, no drama. Now compare that to yes or okay. Feels a little cold, right? Still correct, but something is missing. No color, no flow. Now try saying it with me. Sounds good. Soft smile, slight nod. Let it ride on your breath. That is the rhythm we are aiming for. Now here is something fun. You can upgrade this phrase depending on how enthusiastic you feel. Examples. Neutral. Sounds good. Friendly. Sounds good to me. Excited. Sounds great. Relaxed. Yeah, sounds good. These are all mini tools in your fluency toolbox. Mix and match. Use them to match the moment. Because sounding natural is not about big words, it is about right feel. Let me tell you a story. I once had a student named Pavel from Ukraine. He worked in tech, super smart guy, but in meetings, every time someone suggested something, he just said yes. And it was fine, but it felt a little stiff. So one day, I told him, next time your manager says something you agree with, just say, "Sounds good." He tried it. And after the meeting, his manager said, "Pavel, I like your vibe today. You seemed more relaxed." He was shocked. Same idea, different phrase, better energy. That is what English can do when you learn the rhythm. Let us practice. I will say a sentence. You respond with, "Sounds good. Ready? Let us meet after lunch." You say, "Sounds good." I will bring the drinks. You bring the snacks. Sounds good. We can finish the report tomorrow. Sounds good. Nice. You feel that? That is conversational English. Quick. Confident. Comfortable. Now, one small warning. Be careful when you say, "Sounds good" to something serious, like, "I'm getting surgery next week." Do not say, "Sounds good." That sounds very wrong. In those cases, say, "Got it. Hope it goes well. I'll be thinking of you." Context matters. Sounds good is for plans, not for pain. Here is one last variation you should try. That works for me. This one is a little more flexible. You can use it when someone makes a suggestion, and you are okay with it. Example. A. How about we start at 10 instead of 9? B. That works for me. Try it. That works for me. Now combine the two. Sounds good. That works for me. Fluent. Friendly. Real. So next time someone makes a plan, do not freeze, do not overthink. Just smile, breathe, and say, "Sounds good." Because sometimes fluency is just one phrase, delivered with the right heart. Now, let me ask you something. You have greeted someone. You have agreed to meet. You have had your coffee, but now you need to leave. So how do you end the conversation without making it awkward? Because walking away in English, it has its own set of magic phrases too. You know what no one teaches you. How to say goodbye. Not the dramatic kind, not goodbye forever or farewell, my friend. I mean the everyday stuff. You are talking to someone and the conversation's done. You both kind of know it. So what do you say? How do you end a conversation in English without sounding rude or robotic? Because saying bye and walking away, that can feel cold. Abrupt, like slamming a door. But here is the good news. Native speakers end conversations softly, like fading out a song. And you can too. Let me show you how. First phrase, catch you later. It is casual. Friendly, a little playful. You use it when you are going to see the person again. Maybe soon, maybe not. But you are leaving with good energy. Example. All right, I have to run. Catch you later. Say it out loud. Catch you later. Let it roll off your tongue. You are not leaving. You are just stepping away. And it feels good. Second phrase, talk to you soon. This one is perfect for text, email, video calls, anytime you plan to continue the conversation. Example. Okay, I will read it over and get back to you. Talk to you soon. It is warm. It is human. It tells the other person, I care. We are not done, just taking a break. Try it. Talk to you soon. Sounds reassuring, right? Third phrase, take care. This one. It is simple, but powerful. It is not about the conversation anymore. It is about the person. You are saying, be well, look after yourself. I am thinking of you. Use it when you want a soft, respectful ending, especially with someone you are not close to yet. Example, thanks for the chat, take care. Say it with your heart, not like a script, but like a gentle wave goodbye. Let me tell you a quick story. I was teaching a student from Japan. Her name was Keiko. Brilliant, thoughtful, but super formal. She used to end every conversation with, "This conversation is now complete. Goodbye." I loved her. But that sounded like a robot shutting down. So I taught her 3 things. Catch you later. Talk soon. Take care. The next week, she finished a call with her coworker by saying, "All right, take care. Talk soon." And you know what happened? The coworker smiled and said, "You sound so American today." She laughed for 5 minutes. Now let us practice. Imagine you are finishing a call. I will say something. You respond. "Okay, I have to go get dinner." You say, "All right, talk to you soon. I will see you around campus." "Cool, catch you later. Thanks again for your help." "Of course, take care." Nice. You see how smooth that feels? That is what makes conversations feel complete, like closing a book gently, not slamming it shut. Now here is a bonus tip. You can combine these with a little gratitude, like, "Thanks for the chat, talk to you soon." "All right, I will head out." "Catch you later and take care." Small things, big impact. That is what fluency is made of. Now, we have started a conversation, asked good questions, reacted, agreed, disagreed, and now ended it gracefully. But there is one more thing most learners never think about. What happens in the space between sentences? That moment where you are thinking, but not quite ready to speak. That is where native speakers fill the gap. Not with silence, but with little sounds, little pauses, and if you do it right, you will sound more natural than ever. Let me show you how. Okay, real moment. Have you ever been in the middle of speaking English and your brain just goes blank? Like, you know what you want to say, but the words are stuck somewhere between your heart and your mouth. So you pause, and in that pause comes the fear. They are waiting. I sound stupid. I forgot everything. Yeah, I have been there too. But let me tell you something powerful. Native speakers pause all the time. The difference? They know how to fill those pauses, not with silence, but with fillers. And when used right, these tiny words make you sound fluent, even when you are still thinking. Let us break it down. 1. Let me think. This one is golden. You are telling the other person, hold on, I am thinking, but in a way that sounds totally natural. Example, what was the name of that place we went to? Let me think. Oh yeah, Portland Cafe. You are giving yourself a second to breathe, without sounding lost. Try it out loud. Let me think. Slow, calm, friendly. It buys you time, and it sounds like real English. 2. You know, this one is everywhere. It means nothing and everything. We say it when we are searching for words or when we want to connect emotionally. Example, it is just, you know, when someone lets you down. Or, I do not know. It just felt weird, you know? It is not about information. It is about emotion. You are pulling the listener in, letting them feel what you feel. Say it with me. You know, like you are inviting someone into your thought process. 3. This one is for clarifying. You say something, then you realize you want to say it better, so you go, Example, it was kind of hard. I mean, not terrible, but still. It helps you soften your message, make it clearer, more human. Try it now. I mean, then say something you want to rephrase. Now here is the trap. A lot of learners hear these and think, oh, they are just bad habits. No, they are conversation tools when used with control. Let me tell you about Marcus, one of my students from Brazil. Super expressive, big ideas. But every time he paused in English, he froze. He would go silent, look down, and lose his rhythm. So I gave him just one filler. Let me think. That is it. He used it the next day in a team meeting. Someone asked, how should we fix the deadline issue? And he said, let me think. Maybe we move the client call to Friday? Everyone nodded. No one thought he was confused. He sounded thoughtful because he owned the pause. Let us practice. I will give you a moment. You fill it with a filler. So, what do you think about moving abroad? You say, let me think. Did you like the movie? I mean, it was okay. She just stopped texting me out of nowhere. You know, that kind of thing hurts. Nice. That is rhythm. That is flow. That is fluency. Now, important tip. Do not overuse them. If every sentence starts with, I mean like, people will notice. And not in a good way, but sprinkled in at the right moments, they make your English feel alive. Like you are not just speaking words, you are thinking out loud, you are feeling out loud. And that is what connects people. So next time your mind goes blank, breathe. And say, let me think. I mean, not as a trick, but as a bridge between your thoughts and your voice. Now, you know how to greet, how to react, how to pause. But what about those moments when someone tells you something wild, and you need to say something more than, oh, wow? I am talking about real reactions. Not just polite responses, but things that show emotion, that build connection. Let me show you the power of reacting with heart. All right. You know how sometimes someone says something to you in English and you understand it, but you just say nothing. Or maybe you say, okay, that's nice. And deep down, you are thinking, I want to say more. I want to react the way they do. Let me tell you something important. Your reactions are just as powerful as your words. Because when someone tells you a story, a funny one, a sad one, a strange one, they are not just giving you information. They are giving you a feeling, and if your reaction has no feeling, the connection dies. So let us talk about how native speakers react. Not with long sentences, but with short, punchy words that carry emotion. And once you learn these, you will feel alive in conversation. Let us go. 1. Wow. Simple. Classic. But only when you mean it. Say it without energy. It is nothing. Say it with feeling. It becomes a hug in one syllable. Example. A. My grandma ran a marathon at age 70. B. Wow. That is it. Say it now. Wow. Say it like you just heard something incredible. Use your eyebrows. Your breath. Let it land. Wow is more than a word. It is a mirror. It shows you were moved. 2. Seriously? Yeah, we used this one earlier for surprise, but here's the twist. It can also express sympathy, confusion, or even disbelief without sounding rude. Example. A. They charged me $50 for water. B. Seriously? Or A. She did not show up again. B. Seriously? It is not aggressive. It is shared frustration. Shared realness. Say it now. Seriously. Low tone. Eyebrows pulled in. Like you are with them in the moment. 3. That's wild. This one? So American. So expressive. It means, that's crazy. That's unexpected. That's a lot. but in a way that is safe, friendly, no judgment. Example: A. He proposed on a roller coaster. B. That's wild. You are not saying it is bad, you are saying, whoa, I did not see that coming. Say it now. That's wild. Say it with a smile. Like you love how unpredictable life is. Now let me tell you a story. A student of mine, her name was Tara, told me once, "Jackson, I know what people are saying, but I never know what to say back." So I gave her just 3 reactions. Wow. Seriously? That's wild. I told her to use them every day, just once per conversation. 2 weeks later, she said, "People keep opening up to me more now. Like I am part of the story." And I told her, "You are. Because when you react with real emotion, you are not just speaking English. You are feeling English. You are creating a space where people feel heard. And that is what language is for. So let us practice. I will give you 3 stories. You respond. H. I got lost in Paris for 5 hours. You say, "Wow." A. They canceled my flight right after I arrived. Seriously? A. My dog somehow opened the fridge and ate an entire chicken. That's wild. Nice. That is how you build connection with just a few words, because sometimes the right reaction means more than a perfect sentence. Now, you know how to react to joy, surprise, chaos. But what about when things go wrong, like when someone messes up or feels embarrassed? What do you say then? Because this next part, it is not just about English, it is about kindness. All right, let us talk about those awkward moments. You know what I mean? Someone spills coffee on your bag. They forget to reply to your message. They show up late and say, "I'm so sorry." And now it is your turn to speak. But what do you say? If you just say, "It's okay" or "No problem," that is fine. But it can feel a little flat. And sometimes that is not enough, because what people really want in those moments is not just forgiveness. They want reassurance. They want to know, it is okay to be human. You're still safe here. So let me show you 3 native phrases that carry that kind of comfort. Because when you learn to use them, you do not just speak English. You speak kindness. 1. Don't worry about it. Simple, gentle. Calm. You use it when someone apologizes for a small mistake. Example: A. I'm really sorry I'm late. B. Don't worry about it. It is soft. Forgiving. You are telling them, it's not a big deal. I'm not mad. Say it now. Don't worry about it. Not rushed. Not cold. Say it like you really mean it. 2. No big deal. This one is casual. Chill, relaxed. You use it when someone's mistake affected you, but it is not serious. Example: A. I forgot to bring the files. I feel terrible. B. No big deal. We can work without them. You are saying, yeah, it happened, but it's nothing to stress about. Now, tone matters. Say it with a smile, not sarcasm. No big deal. Like you are waving it off with your voice. 3. Happens to the best of us. This one. It is human. You use it when someone messes up and feels bad, but you want them to know it is not just them. We all make mistakes. Example: A. I accidentally sent the email to the wrong person. B. Happens to the best of us. You are saying, you are not stupid, you are not alone. It is empathy, packed into 7 words. Try it. Happens to the best of us. That phrase, it saves people from shame. Let me tell you a real story. A student of mine, Ahmed from Egypt, once spilled water all over my keyboard. He froze. His face turned red. His voice cracked. He said, "Jackson, I'm so sorry. I ruined your laptop." Now, was I annoyed? A little. Yeah, but I looked at him, smiled, and said, "Hey, don't worry about it. Happens to the best of us." He blinked, then laughed, and said, "Really?" And I said, "Really? You're not your mistake." That day, we didn't just have a class. We had a moment. Because kindness builds fluency faster than any textbook. Now let us practice. You hear the situation. You respond with one of the phrases. Initi. Ugh, I just knocked over your coffee. Don't worry about it. Ada, I forgot to bring your notebook. I'm so sorry. No big deal. Ace, I made the same grammar mistake again. Happens to the best of us. Nice. You are not just saying words. You are giving people relief. And you know what? Sometimes the way you make people feel is what they will remember about your English. Not your grammar, not your vocabulary, but your energy. Now let us flip the mirror. What if you are the one making the mistake? What if you want to give your opinion, but you are afraid you will sound too direct? Too cold? The next section is going to show you how to be honest in English without being harsh. And trust me, this will save you so many awkward moments. All right, let us be honest. Sharing your opinion in English. It can feel dangerous. You want to say what you really think, but you are afraid of sounding too strong, too direct, too rude. So what do most learners do? They play it safe. They say nothing. They smile. Nod. Agree, even when they do not. And then they go home and think, I should have said something. So today, let us change that. Let me show you how native speakers give opinions, honest opinions, without hurting feelings or sounding cold. Because when you do it right, people respect you more, not less. Let us start with this phrase, to be honest. It is a soft opener. It signals that what you are about to say is real, personal, true. But it does not sound mean. It sounds vulnerable. Example. To be honest, I did not really enjoy that movie. You are not attacking. You are just being open. Say it with a calm voice, not sharp. Not defensive. Say it now. To be honest, breathe first, then speak your truth. Next up, honestly speaking. This one is a little more formal, still gentle, but with a bit more clarity. Example. Honestly speaking, I think we need more time to finish this project. You are not blaming. You are contributing. In fact, phrases like this show leadership, because fluent communication is not just about saying nice things. It is about saying necessary things, with care. Now here is the mistake a lot of learners make. They say their opinion, but too bluntly, like, that is bad. You are wrong. I do not like it. Even if you are right, people shut down. Because it feels like an attack. But if you say, to be honest, it is not my favorite. Honestly speaking, I see your point, but I feel differently. Now you are creating space. You are showing respect and confidence. That is real fluency. Let me tell you a quick story. One of my students, Dina from Jordan, once told me, Jackson, in my culture, we say things very directly. But when I do that in English, the people go silent. So I taught her just one phrase. To be honest, the next time someone asked for feedback on a presentation, she said, to be honest, I like the structure, but I think the ending could be stronger. Boom. No one was hurt. In fact, people thanked her because she gave value without ego. And that is power. Let us practice. You hear a situation. You give a soft, honest opinion. Eter, what did you think of the food? To be honest, it was a bit too spicy for me. Eta, should we launch the product next week? Honestly speaking, I think we need a little more time. A, do you like this version of the video? To be honest, I prefer the first one. Nice. See what just happened? You gave your truth. But in a way that invites connection, not conflict. Here is a bonus tip. After sharing your opinion, ask a question, like, to be honest, I am not a fan of horror movies. What about you? This turns a judgment into a conversation. Now both people get to share, and no one feels attacked. Because in English, it is not just what you say, it is how you keep people with you while you say it. Now, you have shared your opinion. You have reacted, you have reassured, you have asked and answered. But what if you want to talk about your plans, not just in the future, but right now? Like, I am thinking of going there. I am planning to take that course. That kind of casual future talk, it is a big part of real conversation. Let me show you how to do it, just like a native speaker. Let us talk about plans, not the big ones. Not, what's your 5-year vision? Or, where do you see yourself in 2030? No. I mean the everyday stuff, like, I think I might go for a walk later. I'm planning to try that new place this weekend. I'm thinking of changing jobs. See, in English, talking about your plans is everywhere. It is how you share a piece of yourself, what you are doing, what you are considering. What is on your mind, even if it is not final yet. And native speakers? We do this with soft, flowing phrases. Not future tense, not I will do this, but phrases that feel more flexible, more real. Let me show you 2 of the most common. 1. I'm thinking of. This one is great when you are still in decision mode, not sure yet, just exploring the idea. Example, I'm thinking of taking a short trip next month. You are not saying it will definitely happen. You are just opening the door to it. Other examples, I'm thinking of learning guitar. I'm thinking of switching to a standing desk. I'm thinking of joining that group you mentioned. Now say it with me. I'm thinking of. Say it like you are letting someone into your mind, but gently. Because that is what it is, a little window into what matters to you. 2. I'm planning to. This one is stronger. More certain. You already have some intention, maybe even a timeline. Example, I'm planning to take the English exam in October. That feels more solid, right? It shows commitment, but still casual. Other examples, I'm planning to call him tonight. I'm planning to redo my resume this weekend. I'm planning to ask for some time off. Say it now. I'm planning to. Feel that quiet confidence. That is exactly how native speakers move through conversation. Not stiff, not overly formal, just clear. Let me tell you a story. A student of mine, Jonas from Sweden, once said to me, Jackson, I never know how to say what I'm going to do. I always say, I will, and it sounds weird. And I said, yeah, because in real life, we do not talk like robots. The next day, in our group class, someone asked him, any fun plans for the weekend? And he said, I'm thinking of checking out that new hiking trail. Then someone else said, oh yeah, I was planning to go there too. And just like that, the conversation opened. Not because of perfect grammar, but because of natural energy. Now let us practice. Imagine these situations. How would you respond? A. So, are you traveling this year? I'm thinking of visiting Japan in the fall. A. Any plans for tonight? I'm planning to cook something simple and relax. H. What about next year? I'm thinking of doing a course in design. Nice. That is how you bring your future into the present, with ease. Now, here is a little tip. You can even mix these with but to add honesty. Like, I'm thinking of applying for that job, but I'm not sure I'm ready. I'm planning to start running again, but you know how lazy I am. Laughs. That makes you sound real, because you are not just announcing plans. You are inviting people into your thought process. So next time someone asks, what are you up to these days? You do not need to freeze. You can say, I'm thinking of joining a writing group, or I'm planning to cut down on screen time. Simple. Honest, fluent, and from there, new conversations begin. Now, what happens when your plan involves someone else? You want to ask them politely. Would it be okay if I? But you do not want to sound too pushy or too weak. That is what we will cover next. How to ask politely but clearly. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted to ask for something in English but stopped yourself because you were afraid of sounding too pushy or too shy? Yeah, There is a weird pressure, right? You want to be polite, but not too formal. You want to be direct, but not too rude. So how do native speakers do it? How do they ask for permission or a small favor in a way that sounds friendly and respectful? Let me show you two phrases that work beautifully. Could you please? Would it be okay if? They are simple, but when used right, they make everything smoother. 1. Could you please? This one is clear, polite, a little formal, perfect for work, strangers, or respectful situations. Example, could you please review this document before tomorrow? You are not demanding, you are requesting, with kindness, and the word please, it changes the whole mood. Now here is the tip. Say it with a smile, not like a robot, not could. You, please, help. Me, but could you please help me with this real quick? Flow matters, tone matters, try it now. Could you please send me the link? Feels polite, but clear. Exactly what we want. 2. Would it be okay if? This one is softer, less direct. More about getting permission than making a request. Perfect for moments when you want to be extra gentle. Example, would it be okay if I took tomorrow off? Would it be okay if I borrowed your charger for a bit? You are checking in. You are giving the other person space to say yes or no, and that shows respect. Now say it out loud. Would it be okay if? Say it like you are genuinely asking, not just going through the motions, because when you speak with care, people hear it. Let me tell you a real story. One of my students, Ravi, from India, got a job in the US. He was super polite, very professional. But every time he wanted to ask something, he would say, I want to. Like, I want to take next Friday off. Now, was that wrong? No, but it felt strong, a little too direct. So I taught him one phrase. Would it be okay if? The next week, he told his boss, would it be okay if I shifted my schedule a bit next week? And guess what? Not only did his boss agree, he said, I appreciate how you asked. That is the power of good English. Not just clear, but kind. Let us practice. Imagine you are in these situations. How would you ask? You want your coworker to send you the file. Could you please send me the file when you get a chance? You want to leave early tomorrow. Would it be okay if I left a bit early tomorrow? You want to borrow a friend's laptop. Would it be okay if I borrowed your laptop for an hour? See, no stress, no weird tension. Just human conversation, soft, thoughtful. Fluent. Now here is a little rhythm tip. If you are speaking to someone close, like a friend, you can soften it even more. Add words like, real quick, when you get a sec. If that is cool with you. Example, could you please check this real quick, if that is cool with you? That sounds native. Not because of big words, but because of emotional tone. And remember, politeness is not weakness. It is emotional intelligence. The way you ask says a lot about who you are. Now, what if you are the one suggesting something? Not asking for help, but saying, let's do this. Why don't we try that? That is a different kind of energy. And when done right, it turns you into the kind of speaker people want to follow. Let me show you how to suggest something without sounding bossy. Okay. So now you know how to ask politely. But what if you have an idea? You want to say, let's do this. We should go there. I have a suggestion. But here is the thing. If you say it too strongly, it feels like a command. If you say it too softly, it sounds like you do not believe in your own idea. So what is the balance? How do native speakers suggest things without sounding pushy or unsure? Let me show you two phrases that are perfect for that. How about, why don't we? Let's break them down. 1. How about simple, flexible, friendly? You use it to gently introduce an idea without pressure. Example, how about trying that Thai place tonight? You are not telling someone what to do. You are offering an idea for them to accept, change, or respond to. Say it now. How about soft voice? Soft. Raised eyebrows, open energy. It is not a suggestion. It is an invitation. Other examples. How about we take a break around 3? How about watching something light tonight? How about we meet halfway? 2. Why don't we? This one is a little stronger but still friendly. It means, let's do this. But it adds warmth and permission. Example. Why don't we finish this part today and do the rest tomorrow? It sounds collaborative, like you are thinking with the other person, not for them. Say it now. Why don't we? Other examples. Why don't we check with Sarah first? Why don't we try a different approach next time? Why don't we walk instead of driving? Let me tell you a quick story. A student of mine, Elena from Spain, once told me, "Jackson, I always feel like I'm being bossy when I speak English." And I asked, "What do you usually say?" She said, "We go now. You come with me." I smiled, not because she was wrong, but because it was fixable. So I gave her 2 phrases. How about, why don't we? The next day, she told her coworker, "How about we get lunch together today?" And guess what? He smiled and said, "Yeah, I'd like that." All because she shifted from instruction to invitation. Let us practice. You are in these situations. What do you say? You want to suggest watching a movie tonight? How about watching a movie tonight? You think it is better to email the client tomorrow? Why don't we email the client tomorrow? You want to go somewhere quieter. How about we find a quieter place? Boom! You are not forcing. You are leading gently. That is what makes English feel easy for the people around you. Here is one last tip. If the person does not love your idea, it is okay. Just stay open. Say, or we could, just a thought. Up to you. That keeps the energy soft. You are not arguing. You are co-creating, and that builds trust. Now let me leave you with this. The best suggestions are not the ones that win. They are the ones that make others feel like they are part of something. Use, how about, why don't we? Not as a trick, but as a way to say, I care what you think, and I'm excited to share mine. Now, what happens when someone does not agree with you? They smile politely, but they are thinking something else. How do you disagree without killing the vibe? That is next. Let me show you how disagreement can be gentle, honest, and surprisingly powerful. So here is a question nobody asks in class. What do you say when you disagree? Not just have a different opinion. I mean when someone says something, and deep down you think, I don't really see it that way. What do you do? Do you stay silent? Do you nod? Even when you do not agree? Or do you blurt it out? No, you're wrong. Yeah, that does not work so well either. Because here is the truth. In American culture, disagreement is okay. But how you say it, that makes all the difference. So today, let me show you how to disagree. Politely, honestly, and naturally. Let us start with 2 magic phrases. 1. I see your point, but this one is perfect for soft disagreement. It means, I hear you. I respect your view, but here's mine. Example, A. I think we should cancel the event. Nobody's going to show up. B. I see your point, but maybe we should still try. Even a small crowd could matter. You are not saying, you're wrong. You are saying, that makes sense. But there's another side. Say it with me. I see your point, but feels respectful, right? That is the goal. 2. That might be true, but this one is for when part of what they said is valid, but you want to add another layer. Example, A. Online classes are so boring, no one learns anything. B. That might be true, but some people actually prefer them, especially introverts. Again, soft, balanced. Real. You are acknowledging some truth, but not all of it. Now practice. That might be true, but say it like you are adding, not attacking. Now let me tell you a quick story. One of my students, Tomo from Japan, once told me, "In my culture, we try not to disagree in public. It feels rude, and I get it. But in American conversations, staying silent can feel distant. So I gave Tomo just one tool. I see your point, but the next time someone in class said something he disagreed with, he said, 'I see your point, but maybe there's another way to look at it.' The room stayed warm. The teacher smiled, and other students joined the discussion. That is what polite disagreement does. It invites conversation instead of shutting it down. Let us practice. You hear the situation. You respond gently. A. Everyone should wake up at 5 a.m. That's the only way to be productive. I see your point, but I think some people focus better at night. A. Learning English through grammar is the best way. That might be true, but speaking practice helped me more. A. We should cancel the project. It's too hard. I see your point, but I feel like we're close to finishing. Nice. That is how you stay true to yourself and kind to the other person. Here is one more bonus phrase. I hear you. You can use it before anything you say that might be different or challenging. Example. I hear you, and I respect your opinion. I just have a slightly different take. That one phrase, I hear you, can turn disagreement into dialogue, and that is what good English does, not just express thoughts, but protect relationships. Now, let's say the conversation continues. You are going back and forth. How do native speakers check in to see if the other person is still with them? How do they keep the connection alive, even in small ways? That is what we are going to look at next. Tiny little questions that make you sound instantly more fluent and engaged. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been talking to someone in English and felt like you were doing all the work? Like, you said something, and then silence. You are left wondering, did they hear me? Do they agree? Should I keep going? Yeah, that happens. Because here is the thing. Good conversation is not just about saying things. It is about checking in. And in English, one of the easiest ways to do that. Tag questions. They are those tiny phrases you hear at the end of a sentence like, "It's nice today, isn't it? You're coming, right? That was crazy, huh?" They are short, but they do something powerful. They turn a statement into a connection. Let me show you how they work. 1. Isn't it? Aren't you? Wasn't he? These are classic grammar-based tag questions. You take your sentence, then flip the verb. Example, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? You are not asking for weather info. You are inviting agreement. You are saying, I think this. Do you? Other examples. You're from Brazil, aren't you? She was amazing in that film, wasn't she? They will be here soon, won't they? They sound smart, but still casual. Now say this. That's interesting, isn't it? Feel how it opens a little door. That is the magic. 2. Right? Yeah? Huh? These are informal, super native. Less about grammar, more about tone. Example. That party was wild, right? You are not testing them. You are bonding. You are saying, we shared this, let's feel it together. Other examples. You saw that too, yeah? That was crazy, huh? This place has great energy, right? Say it now. Feels different in here, right? That little phrase. It turns a sentence into a shared moment. Now here is where most learners struggle. They avoid tag questions because of grammar fear. Is it aren't they? Or isn't it? Or what? Relax. You do not need to be perfect. Even just saying right is enough. Native speakers use shortcuts all the time. Because it is not about grammar, it is about rhythm. Let me tell you a story. One of my students, Luis from Mexico, spoke really well, but his conversations always felt flat. He said all the right things. But people did not open up. Then one day, we practiced this. You work in finance, right? That was pretty intense, huh? She's new here, isn't she? And something clicked. The next week he came back and said, people talked more. They smiled. They leaned in. Because he was not just talking at them. He was talking with them. Now let us practice. I will give you a base sentence. You turn it into a tag question. This coffee is strong. This coffee is strong, isn't it? You already watched the movie. You already watched the movie, right? That meeting was long. That meeting was long, huh? Perfect. That is how you go from textbook English to human connection. Now here is a bonus phrase. You know what I mean? Say this when you explain something and want to check in. Example. Sometimes I just need to walk away from my phone. You know what I mean? It is not literal. It is emotional. You are asking, are you with me in this feeling? That creates real conversation. Not just words, but shared experience. So next time you are talking to someone and you want to keep them close, try. Right? Isn't it? Huh? You know what I mean? They are small. But they say, I see you. I want to know you're with me. And that is the heart of fluent conversation. Now, we have talked about tone, flow, connection. But what about feelings, real emotions, like happiness, frustration, pride, jealousy? How do you talk about those without sounding like a drama queen? Let me show you how to speak about emotions like a native, with heart and honesty. So here is a real question. When someone shares something emotional with you, like really emotional, do you know what to say? Not textbook stuff, not, congratulations, I'm sorry, that's good, but something real. Because here is the thing, language is not just for logic, it is for feeling. And if you want to speak English fluently, you have to learn how to feel in English too. So today, let me show you 3 simple but powerful ways to respond when someone shares a piece of their heart with you. These are the moments where connection happens. Let's not miss them. 1. That's amazing. This is more than good job. You use it when someone tells you something personal that makes them proud, and you want to amplify that joy. Example. A. I finally passed my exam. B. That's amazing. Not loud, not dramatic. Just sincere. Say it now. That's amazing. Say it with a smile, you mean. You are not reacting to the achievement. You are reacting to the effort, and people feel that. 2. I'm so happy for you. This one is deeply human. You use it when someone shares something good and you want them to know you feel happy with them. Example. A. We just got engaged. B. I'm so happy for you. That, for you, matters. You are not just happy in general. You are happy because of them. Try it. I'm so happy for you. You are giving them your joy as a gift, and trust me, they'll remember it. 3. That's tough. Now we flip it. What if someone shares something hard, something painful? You do not need to give advice. You do not need to fix it. Just say, that's tough, and mean it. Example. A. I lost my job last week. Things are a mess. B. Man, that's tough. That one phrase, it tells them, I hear you. I'm with you. You're not alone. That is powerful. Because empathy speaks louder than solutions. Let me tell you a quick story. One of my students, Celine from Turkey, once said, Jackson, I never know how to respond when someone says something emotional. I panic. I freeze. So I gave her 3 phrases. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. That's tough. And told her, just use one this week. One real moment. A few days later, her coworker said, my son just started speaking his first words. Celine looked at her, smiled, and said, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Her coworker teared up, because for the first time, Celine connected in English, not with vocabulary, but with feeling. Let us practice. You hear these moments? You respond. Ada, I finally finished my degree. That's amazing. Ada, we are expecting our first baby. I'm so happy for you. I've been feeling really tired lately, just overwhelmed. That's tough. Perfect. You just became more fluent, not in words, but in humanity. Here is one last bonus phrase. That means a lot. You can say this when you feel seen, when someone says something kind to you. Example, A. You've helped me a lot. Thank you. B. That means a lot. It is humble, honest, quietly emotional. Use it, because sometimes the best English is the one that feels like you. Now you know how to respond to joy, to pain, to stress, to pride. But what if you simply do not understand, like you are in a conversation, and someone says something, and your brain says, "What? What did they say?" Most learners freeze, or say nothing, or laugh awkwardly. But there is a better way. Let me show you how to ask for clarification without losing confidence. Let us be real for a second. You are in a conversation. Things are flowing. You are doing okay. And then, someone says something you do not understand. Maybe it is fast. Maybe it is slang. Maybe it is just too much. And suddenly, boom, panic. Your brain goes, do I ask? Do I pretend? Do I laugh and hope for the best? Listen to me. Not understanding something, that is normal. What matters is how you respond. So today, let me show you a few ways native speakers ask for clarification without sounding lost, rude, or insecure. Because real fluency is not about knowing everything. It is about staying in the conversation, even when you don't. 1. Could you repeat that? This is your go-to. It is simple. Clear, polite. You are saying, I want to understand. Please say it again. Example. Sorry, could you repeat that? Say it now. Gently. Could you repeat that? You are not slowing down the conversation. You are staying engaged. Big difference. 2. Can you say that in another way? This one is perfect when the words are too complex or unfamiliar. Example. I'm sorry. Can you say that in another way? You are not asking them to speak louder. You are asking them to speak differently, and that shows confidence. It says, I'm listening. I just need a different angle. Other versions. Can you explain that a little differently? Could you put that another way? Say it now. Can you say that in another way? It is not weakness. It is strategy. 3. I didn't catch that. What did you say? This one is more casual. Very native. It sounds like, sorry, didn't catch that. What was it? Wait, what did you say just now? It works best in fast conversations, like with friends or coworkers. It is soft. Honest, real. Try it. I didn't catch that. What did you say? You are not admitting failure. You are saying, I'm still here. Let's keep going. Now let me tell you a quick story. A student of mine, Nina, from Indonesia, once told me, Jackson, when I don't understand something, I smile and say nothing. I don't want to bother people. And I said, you're not bothering them. You're building respect. Because asking to understand, that is courage. A week later, in a team meeting, someone said something fast and full of idioms. Nina paused, then said, could you repeat that last part? And the person said, oh, yeah, sorry, I went too fast. Just like that, Nina stayed in the game. No panic, no shame, just presence. Let us practice. You hear something you do not understand. What do you say? A. So yeah, if we onboard them before Friday and loop in marketing. Sorry, could you repeat that? A. We're basically soft launching, but the metrics are a little noisy right now. Can you say that in another way? A. I said I'm heading to the meetup at 6. Want to come? I didn't catch that. What did you say? Nice. That is how you stay in conversations that move fast, without fear. Here is one bonus phrase. I'm not sure I got that. Can you walk me through it? This one is perfect for deeper discussions, like meetings, instructions, or even emotional moments. It says, I want to get this right. Help me understand you. And that is how trust is built. Now, what happens after you clarify? What if the other person opens up, shares something personal? Honest? Stressful? How do you respond in a way that makes them feel truly understood? That is where empathy comes in. Let me show you a few phrases that go deeper than I understand. Because when you speak with empathy, you don't just learn English, you make people feel safe. Let's slow it down for a moment, because this next part, it is not just about speaking English. It is about listening with your heart. You know those moments when someone tells you something hard, something personal, something real. Maybe they say, work's been crushing me lately. I feel like I'm failing. I don't know what to do anymore. And in your mind, you're like, I feel for them, but what do I say now? You do not want to give advice. You do not want to make it worse. You just want them to know, I hear you, you are not alone. So let me give you 3 short, powerful phrases that native speakers use all the time to express empathy. These are not fancy. But when said right, they make people breathe easier. 1. I get it. Simple. But deep. You are saying, I understand, not just the words, but the feeling. You can say it gently. Example. A. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not good enough. B. Yeah. I get it. No big speech, no solution, just presence. Say it now. I get it. Like a soft nod from your heart. That is all they need. 2. I've been there too. This one is honest. You are not making it about yourself. You are just saying, you are not crazy. You are not the only one. Example. A. I hate networking events. I never know what to say. B. Yeah, I've been there too. It gets easier. It is a bridge. From their world to yours. Say it with warmth. I've been there too. No drama. Just human. 3. That makes sense. This one is a hidden gem. You use it when someone opens up, and you want them to feel validated. Example. A. I snapped at my kid. I feel awful, but I was so tired. B. That makes sense. You've been under a lot of pressure. It tells them, you're not wrong, you're human. Try it. That makes sense. Use it when someone feels guilty, stressed, or unsure. It brings calm, clarity, comfort. Let me tell you a quick story. One of my students, Marta from Poland, once said, Jackson, I want to be supportive in English, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. I told her, you don't need perfect grammar. You need real feeling. So she tried. Her coworker shared something difficult about burnout, and Marta said, I get it, that makes sense. I've been there too. The coworker almost cried, not because of the words, but because she felt heard. And that is English at its most beautiful. Let's practice. Here's what someone says. You respond with empathy. Oh, I'm so behind on everything. I just want to disappear. Yeah, I get it. A. It's silly, but I cried over a commercial yesterday. That makes sense. You've got a lot going on. A. I feel like no one understands how tired I am. I've been there too. That's it. That's human English. That's real conversation. Bonus tip. You can combine these with a little silence. Sometimes just saying, yeah, I get it, then pausing, letting them breathe. That does more than 1,000 words, because empathy is not a performance, it is presence. Now, you've learned to listen, you've learned to respond, you've learned to connect. So what now? What if you want to put everything together and build a real flowing conversation? That is what we will do next. Let me show you how to combine what you've learned into short, everyday conversations. No stress, no pressure. Just simple, natural English, block by block, okay? So now you have got all these tools. You know how to greet, how to react, how to ask, how to agree, disagree, share plans. Show empathy. But here is the real question. Can you use them in the moment? That is the real test. Because knowing phrases is one thing, using them when life is happening is something else. So in this part, we are going to do something different. We are going to build real conversations, mini ones, using everything you have learned so far. 3 situations. 3 small, natural, everyday moments. And after each one, I want you to feel, yeah, I can say that. Let's go. Situation 1. You run into an old friend you haven't seen in a while. You, hey. Long time no see. Wow, I didn't expect to see you here. Friend, yeah, it's been forever. How have you been? You, not bad, just keeping busy, you know. How's everything with you? Still working at the same place? Friend, actually, I switched jobs a few months ago. You, no way, seriously? That's amazing, I'm so happy for you. What are you doing now? Notice that? Nothing dramatic. Just soft questions, casual reactions, real connection. That is what native conversation sounds like. Now let us try another. Situation 2. You are making plans with a coworker for lunch. You, hey, how's your morning going? Coworker, busy but not terrible. You, same here. Hey, how about grabbing lunch together today? Coworker, yeah, sounds good. Any place in mind? You, I'm thinking of that new sandwich spot around the corner. Or we could hit the taco truck if you're in the mood for something spicy. Coworker, tacos sound great. You, cool. I'm planning to head out around 12:30. Does that work for you? Coworker, that works for me. You, awesome. Catch you later then. That was full of useful phrases, right? How about, I'm thinking of, that works for me. Catch you later. And it felt easy. Because it was easy. You just need rhythm. Let's do one more. Situation 3. You need help from a teammate. You, hey, would it be okay if I asked a quick favor? Teammate, sure, what's up? You, could you possibly check this slide deck before I send it to the client? I just want to make sure it flows right. Teammate, yeah, I can do that. You, thanks so much. Let me know if anything feels off. Honestly, I've stared at it too long. Teammate, haha, I get that. Happens to the best of us. You, laughs, right? I appreciate it. Talk soon. Teammate, you got it. Take care. See how smooth that is. There was nothing robotic, nothing perfect, just honesty, softness. Flow. Here is the lesson. You do not need 1,000 words. You just need the right 5 or 6 phrases at the right time. And now, you have them. Here is your challenge. Today, try creating your own mini conversation in your journal. Use 1 greeting, 1 emotional reaction, 1 polite request, 1 phrase to end the conversation. That is it. Keep it simple. Keep it real. And most of all, make it yours. Because fluency does not come from pressure. It comes from practice. And now, you have one final piece to complete this journey. You have learned all the phrases. Now I will show you how to make them stick so they become part of your voice. Let us build a practice system that works for you. So here we are. You made it. 24 parts, 50 real-life phrases, dozens of stories. And probably a few moments where you smiled or whispered something out loud. But now comes the most important part. Keeping it. Because here is the truth. You can learn the best phrases in the world, but if they stay on the page, they disappear. Real fluency, it does not live in your memory. It lives in your mouth. So today, I want to show you how to take everything we have learned and turn it into real speaking confidence. No textbooks. No pressure. Just practice that fits into your life every day. Let us begin. Step 1. Shadowing, but not the boring kind. You have probably heard this before. Shadow native speakers. Repeat what they say. But let me show you a better way. Do not just copy the words. Copy the emotion. If someone says, "No way," with a laugh, you do not just say "no way," you feel it. Copy their voice, their breath, their pause. Imagine you are an actor. You are not reading, you are becoming. Here is a simple way to do it. Find a short video, 30 seconds. Listen once, then play it again, and speak at the same time. Repeat. 3 times, that is it. Each time, let your voice get closer to theirs. This is not homework, this is voice training, and every time you do it, your fluency gets a little freer. Your confidence grows. Step 2. The phrase loop technique. This one is fun. Pick one phrase you love. Just one. Let us say it is, "Sounds good." Now, write 10 different sentences using that phrase. Meeting at 3? Sounds good. Let us grab lunch tomorrow. Sounds good. You want to join the game later? Yeah, sounds good. Say each one out loud. Fast, slow, with different emotions. You are not learning English, you are building reflexes. So when life throws you a situation, you do not think. You just say, "Try this for 3 minutes a day." That is all it takes. Step 3. Record yourself, then walk away. This one is scary for a lot of people, but it works like magic. Here is what you do. Record yourself saying 5-10 phrases. Any ones you like. Then, do not listen right away. Walk away. Do something else. Come back 10 minutes later. Now hit play. You will hear your strengths, you will hear your pauses, and most importantly, you will realize, wow. That sounds better than I thought. Because confidence is not built from perfection. It is built from self-recognition. When you start to see that your voice is real, your English becomes yours. Let me be real with you. You do not need to master all 50 phrases. You do not need to practice for 2 hours a day. You just need one moment each day to say something that feels alive. One moment, one sentence. One spark, that is how fluency is born. And now, let me leave you with this. You have listened. You have practiced. You have shown up. That matters more than anything. I have met people who speak 10 languages, but say nothing real. And I have met people who know 20 phrases, but speak with heart. I remember those people, because fluency is not how many words you say. It is how true your words feel. So next time you speak English, do not ask, "Am I saying it right?" Ask, "Am I saying it honestly?" Because that will always sound beautiful.